Good morning, children. So today we'll continue with the lesson. Which lesson, children? The portrait of a lady. Yes, you're right. So we continue with the same lesson today. We continue from where we stopped. Okay. The grandmother was short, fat, slightly bent in posture. Why is she bent in posture? Yes. Obviously because of what? Because of old age, and her face had lot of wrinkles. Again the same reason, because of old age. She seemed so old, and she had been the same for the past 20 years. Is it really possible? No. The author Khushwant Singh feels so, because he always sees her as old lady. Since the time he has been seeing her, she's old. Yes, according to the author, she was beautiful but not pretty. She had inner beauty, she was religious, she was very kind-hearted, she loved birds, she loved animals. She walked around the house in an awkward way, wearing spotless white clothes, with beads of the rosary hanging from one hand, and the other rested on her back for support. I told you, children, what you mean by rosary. It is a mala sort of a thing, okay? It has beads, and the old people, what do? Mala japna in Hindi it is called. They touch every bead of it and they chant prayers. So that is the rosary, beads of rosary. She had silver-colored hair which was not neatly combed and was disorganized. She was constantly chanting prayers. She was highly religious actually. He compares her to the winter landscape in the mountains, which has a peaceful and calm feel. You go to the mountains in winter, you feel so good that you get that inner peace, It has got its own beauty actually, children. She was a live example of pure white peace, emitting entity. My grandmother and I were good friends. Yes, they were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song way while she bathed and dressed me, because the author was very small. Khushwant was very small, in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. Listen to what? The prayers. I listened because I loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me, ready for school. After a breakfast of thick, stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Now, children, have a look at the difficult words and meanings. Monotonous, dull and boring. Bothered, to be concerned. Fetch, go for, then bring back something for someone. Slate, a flat plate of slate formerly used for writing on in schools. Yeah, earlier, long ago, people used to use slate for writing. Plastered, covered with a layer of plaster. Earthen, made of baked or fired clay. Stale, no longer fresh and pleasant to eat. Hard, musty or dry. The author lived with her in the village. They were good friends. His parents left him with her to settle in the city. The author's grandmother used to wake him up every morning and get him ready for school. She would recite her morning prayers while she bathed and dressed him up, and he loved her voice but would not try to memorize a word of what she spoke. She would make his things ready like a wooden slate and all that. He would eat a thick stale chapati and then go to school. Yeah, my grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. So when we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. When my parents were comfortably settled in city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me because now he's grown up. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of a city house. Okay, scriptures, the sacred writings of a religion, growling, making a low guttural sound in the throat. Courtyard is the veranda. So grandmother would accompany him to the school as the temple was attached to the school, and she used to visit the temple daily, every day. On one side, he would sit on the veranda with other children. They would sing the alphabet and prayers in chorus all together. On the other hand, she would sit in the temple to read the scriptures. After finishing, they would walk back home. So the village dogs met them at the village door. They would follow them to their home, growling and fighting with each other for the stale chapatis that she fed them. When his parents got settled in the city, they called them. That was the turning point of his friendship with his grandmother. They shared the same room, no longer would give him company. Yes, he started going to school and all that. Yes, so as the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get ready for school. When I came back, she would ask, what did the teacher teach and all these things. And then he would tell her about the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round. This made her unhappy. She did not like all these things about science and all that. She could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school. She was distressed, absolutely unhappy. She wanted him to learn about God, about scriptures. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. So she was very disturbed. Her music had lewd associations, all something to do with all, bad things. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentlefolk. That means harlots and beggars, not for good people, okay? She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. She did not like it. She rarely talked to me after that. Years rolled by, time passed. Distressed, suffer from extremely sorrow, anxiety or pain. Lewd association, indecent, something which is not decent. Obscene, harlots, prostitutes, gentlefolk, people of noble birth. When I went up to university, who's saying this? The author, Khushwant Singh. I was given a room of my own, so now he has a room of his own at the university. The common link of friendship was snapped. Snapped means broken. My grandmother accepted her seclusion. Seclusion is loneliness. With resignation, without saying anything. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. Spinning wheel is a small wheel sort of a thing, it is, you have to keep spinning it and chanting your prayers. So that is the spinning wheel. The Tibetans use it. I've seen the Tibetans using it. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel spinning and reciting prayers. I told you, children, Very religious lady. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. While she sat in the veranda breaking the bread into little crumbs, little pieces, little bits, hundreds of little birds collected round her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirpings. When too many birds gather at one place, they start chirping. The typical sound you get to hear. The chirping, that is the chirpings. Some came and perched on her legs. Perched, sat. Perch means to sit, Others on her shoulders. Some even sat on her head. She smiled but never shooed them away. Never said, "Oh, you go away." It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. Snapped, break suddenly and completely. Seclusion, the state of being private and away from the people. That is the state of loneliness. Accepted her seclusion with resignation. The grandmother accepted a lonely life as she accepted the separation from her grandson without any objection. Spinning wheel, a household machine with a wheel attached to it for spinning yarn. But here it is, it is not for spinning yarn, for chanting prayers. A veritable bedlam of chirpings refers to the noise and confusion caused by the chirping of the sparrows. Veritable used to describe something which is very interesting or something which is very unusual. Bedlam, confusion. Chirpings, the noise of small bird perched, alight or rest on something. Should make a person or animal go away. Go, like this we say now, so that is shooing away. As the author went to university, he had a room of his own. I already said that to you. So now grandmother is lonely. She used to sit, feed the sparrows. Yes, this I have already done it. Just now I said that. I have explained this. Feed the sparrows with breadcrumbs and all that. Okay. But she never drove them away. She did not drive away the sparrows. You remember that? So when I decided to go abroad, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years. And at her age, one could never tell what would happen. Obviously. Very difficult, to tell what would happen. So let us see what happens. She came to leave me at the railway station. Imagine how she must have felt. She did not look a day older. Yes, she looked the same. She still had no time for words. And while she clasped me in her, so after 5 years he comes back. Yes, he went for 5 years. So she holds him tightly. Yes, she hugs him because that bond of love was so strong between grandmother and grandson. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows, whom she fed longer, and with frivolous rebukes, sweet scoldings, sentimental, a feeling of nostalgia, sadness, tenderness, being emotional, beads, a small piece of glass or stone, threaded with others to make a rosary or a necklace, mala as we say, cherished, holds something very dear, moist, wet, imprint, impression, clasped, hold it tightly, frivolous, not having any serious purpose, light-hearted, rebuke. It is somewhat like scolding, light-hearted, scoldings, frivolous, rebukes. So when the author decided to go abroad, he believed it would be the last time he would see her, as he would be gone for 5 long years. As they all reached the station, she held him tightly, kissed him and all that. She was singing. She was actually very happy, He thought it was the last physical contact. When he came back after 5 years, she looked just the way she did 5 years ago, not a day older. He noticed on the first day of his arrival that only sparrows would make her happy. In the evening, a change came over her. She did not pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum, dilapidated drum, not in a very good condition, started to sing for several hours. She thumped, she's beating the drum, the sagging skins of the dilapidated drum, very bad condition, that is dilapidated, and sang of the homecoming of warriors. This is to express happiness. We had to persuade her to stop to avoid overstraining. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. The next morning she was taken ill. It was a mild fever. The doctor said she would become all right. But my grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. Thumped, hit, sagging, sinking downwards, dilapidated, in a state of despair, ruin, very bad condition, in a very bad condition. The sagging skins of the dilapidated drum, the loose surface of the worn out drum, the old drum. Persuade, to convince, something requested. So persuade means to request, overstraining, overdoing something, omitted, to leave out something. An evening, she didn't follow her regular routine praying. She collected a few women. I already said that she was so exhausted. The doctors told that it would go away, the fever would go away. But she knew that she would soon die. She started chanting prayers as she didn't want to waste time. Yes. So we protested. She ignored our protest. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving. That means she's no more. She was no more. She died. A peace pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she was dead now. Protested, expressed an objection against something or someone. Pallor, an unhealthy pale appearance. The family protested, tried to stop her, but she lay peacefully on her bed chanting prayers. Suddenly she stopped. The rosary fell from her lifeless fingers because she was no more. A calm, pale appearance spread on her face, and she was dead. We lifted her off her bed, as is customary, laid her on the ground. This is a custom, children, and covered her with a red shroud. After a few hours of mourning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her to be cremated. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. We stopped halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff, wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. That means what? They have also come to express their deep sorrow, deep grief. There was no chirruping. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them, but they never bothered to eat. The sparrows took no notice of the breadcrumbs. When we carried my grandmother's corpse is a dead body, they flew away quietly. That means the birds were also sad. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. Customary, traditional, crude, it's roughly made. Cremated, dispose of or burn a body after it is dead. Blaze a very large burning fire. Shroud, a piece of cloth used to wrap a dead person. Corpse means a dead body. So the family lifted her from bed, laid her on the ground. I already said that. The birds also expressed their sorrow. They did not eat the breadcrumbs. They flew away. Yeah, they were mourning the death of grandmother because she used to feed them. Yes, every day. Grandmother was a religious lady, very fond of the birds and animals. See, that is why even the sparrows expressed their deep sorrow, their grief. They loved grandmother so much. And not only that, the grandmother also loved the birds and animals. She used to feed stale chapatis to the stray dogs. You remember, children? Yes. So, what are you supposed to do? What is your homework? Read the lesson thoroughly at least 2 times with proper understanding. Write down all the difficult words and meanings. I often give a 1-mark question on that. Okay? Otherwise also you are supposed to know the meanings of all the difficult words. So read it 2 times, write down all the difficult words, the meanings of difficult words, and remember children, read the lesson with proper understanding. That is very important. Thank you. Goodbye.